Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Hindmarsh Shire Council's October meeting. I'd like to acknowledge that this meeting is being held on the lands of the Watchabolik, Jardwar, Jabberjali, Wagaya and Jopagalt nations. We acknowledge as traditional owners of country. We also acknowledge the important ongoing role that Indigenous people play within our community and pay our respects to elders past and present. Thank you. Welcome to council officers and councillors. This meeting is being broadcast on the internet and the recording of the meeting will be published on Council's Facebook page and YouTube channel. As a visitor in the public gallery, you may be filmed. By remaining in the public gallery, you consent to being filmed and for the recording of you to be made publicly available by the Council. A copy of the Council's live streaming and recording of Council meetings policy is available at the back of this room and on the Council's website. Please speak with one of our staff members if you have any questions. Thank you. I don't believe we've got any apologies for today's meeting. Item 3 is declaration of interest. Do any council or council officer have any conflict of interest on today's agenda? No. Okay. Item 4, a confirmation of minutes, and there's a recommendation there.
I'll move minutes of the ordinary council meeting held on Wednesday, 25th September 2024 at the council chamber, 92 Nelson Street, Nil, as circulated to councillors, be taken as read and confirmed.
Thanks, Councillor Hurst. I've got a second, Councillor Nelson. Thank you. All those in favour? Against? That is carried. Item 5, correspondence, which I believe there is none. Item 6, assembly of councillor records, isn't relevant for today. Item 7, planning permits, there is none. Item 8, reports requiring a decision. 8.1 is a planning application approved under the CEO delegation. And I'll pass to Ram.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The report provides the list of planning application that were approved under the CEO delegation of the last quarter period. There were 3 planning permit applications approved, which are listed into the table below. Happy to take any questions needed.
Thanks, Ram. Have any councillors got any questions to report? Yes, Councillor Bywaters.
Mayor, I'd just like to ask Ram, probably doesn't matter either way, but I'm just wondering, it said removal of 3 pine trees from Picnic Bend at Timboola. I'm just wondering, were they native pines or?
Yeah,
they were.
That's where they were triggered planning that.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you. Any further questions to report? If not, there's a recommendation for councillors there. Yes, Councillor Ismay.
The council notes the planning application approved by the CEO or delegate for the period of the 1st of July 2024 to the 30th of September 2024.
Thank you. Any?
And I'm happy to second that.
Yeah. Would you like to speak to your motion? Councillor Bywaters. If not, I'll ask for a show of hands. All those in favour? Against? Those cancelled. 8.2 is Hindmarsh Shire Council Annual Report, and I'll pass to Mrs. Rebel.
Thank you, Mayor. The purpose of this report is to present the annual report for the 2023-2024 financial year for consideration by Council. It is a requirement under the Local Government Act that we prepare an annual report in respect to the previous financial year. The report needs to contain a report on our operations, our audited performance statement, audited financial statements, and any other matter that's required under the Act and the planning and reporting regulations. It is a requirement that the report be prepared within 4 months of the financial year, and so the report is prepared for councillors.
Thanks, Mrs. Rebel. Are there any questions to the annual report? All read it. If not, there's a recommendation. Councillor Ismay.
Mayor, I'm happy to move that council, having considered the annual report for the year ending 30th of June 2024, receive the report.
Thank you. Have I got a second? Councillor Nelson, thank you. Would you like to speak to your motion, Councillor?
Absolutely. I was very impressed with the layout of the report. It was very well done. A lot of reading, but yeah, the people that are involved, did an absolutely amazing job, so I commend all those involved.
Thank you. Councillor Nelson, did you want to add?
Yes, I would just encourage people to have a look at it and read it. And it does give you a very good insight into what council's actually doing. Like, for example, with our libraries, we've had 13,000 visitors to our libraries in the last year, and over 16,500 books have been borrowed. So that's quite incredible. There are lots of interesting things in here to read. So would really encourage people to read it. There's also a big list of the community action grants that have been given out in the last year. And while there's a lot of people, a lot of groups on the list, there's also a lot of groups that are not on the list that haven't applied. So I would encourage them to put pen to paper and think about what they need for their group to help support their activities, and think about applying for a community grant, and likewise for the businesses. It's always good to have a little bit of extra money to be able to promote your business and push it along, if it means doing it up front, or whether it's you know, a bit more decoration or whatever you need to do to your shop. Some people have put verandas on, some people have done sign work, some people have used it for just business skills and that type of thing. So there's a range of things that people can use those for. So they're there for people to use. So I would certainly encourage them to use them. Thank you.
Thanks, Councillor Nelson. Does any other councillor want to speak to it at all? Allow that. Yes, Councillor Boyles.
Yeah, I will, just to also confer with what both councillors have already said, and encourage everyone to read the annual report as well. It really does show a good indication of what we've done over the last 12 months. And I guess the bit that I liked the most was the projects that are finished. Some of those projects have been run over a few years. For example, the Wimmer River Discovery Trail and the caravan parks, those sorts of things. Others have just been something that has happened in the last 12 months. But other than also congratulating the staff on a great report, I would like to encourage people to read it, and to look at every single page. To me was exciting, but maybe that's because I'm a local government nerd, I'm not sure, but I found it really exciting, and the pictures are wonderful and the layout is great. And congratulations to staff and our council. I think it's something I'm quite proud of as a councillor for this last year.
Thanks, Councillor Boyles. Yes, well done, Monica, to you and your staff. If no further speakers, I'll ask for show of hands. All those in favour, against, that is carried. Item 9, council committees. 9.1 advisory committees. We've just got the Rainbow Township Committee. There's a recommendation. Councillors.
Mayor, I'm happy to move that council notes the minutes of the Rainbow Township Advisory Committee meeting held on the 19th of August 2022.
Thank you. Have I got a seconder? Councillor Nelson, thank you. Would you like to speak to the town committee at all?
I think I praised them up last meeting, so I don't do it. I think they're doing a good job. Thank you.
Yeah, Councillor Nelson.
Thank you to all the volunteers that participate in all of the council committees.
Thank you. I'll ask for a show of hands on those minutes. All those in favour, against, that is carried. No community asset committee minutes were received. Item 10, late reports. And item 11, other business. Now, it's a short agenda today, obviously, but just because we're in caretaker period still. But just before we close today, I'd like to congratulate firstly all of my fellow councillors on their 4-year term as councillors, deputy mayor or the mayor. You've handled yourselves with integrity, engaged in lively debate, attended your delegated committees, represented your communities at events, and always without exception made decisions you truly believed were for the betterment of your communities. Being a council, while sometimes challenging, is a very rewarding experience and the pinnacle of representing your community at the highest level. For those councillors that are continuing or facing election and all community members who have nominated, I wish you all the best. Councillor Bywater, you have served a total of 8 years on council, and no one can deny your passion for your community and your courage to stand for the minority groups and don't always have access to a voice. Well done. Councillor Albrecht, the input you had in debate, questions to briefing presenters and your in-depth assessment of reports put to council was exceptional and assisted council to move on decisions with an informed view. You were the mayor for 12 months, also something to hold in high esteem. Well done. Councillor Gers, what can you say? Calling it a day after 39 years on council, and you have also served as a Justice of the Peace for 40 years. Mayor on numerous occasions, you had the honour of picking up an Order of Australia award along the way. Your community is indebted to you to sacrifice so much of your life to ensure we prosper into the future. Once again, well done. Myself, I've thoroughly enjoyed my 4 years. It had many highlights, and amongst my favourites were my committees, networking at summits and the NGA in Canberra, speaking at the many community events and engaging with all walks of life. I think the biggest lesson I learnt was to listen and be relatable as a person you could talk to and trust and try to get you an answer. Without the people, we have nothing. To all the community groups I had the pleasure of engaging with, thank you for your tireless efforts in providing services, beautifying our towns, and so many more activities that make our towns better places to live. One of the challenges we faced as a council was to employ a new CEO on the expiration of the former CEO's contract. We chose yourself, Monica, of which I'm confident this was prudent, and I thank yourself and all your staff for their help in presenting reports, supplying information, and assisting with the public's inquiries. I've also always found the staff to be courteous and polite. Even though only 6 months in, I wish you all the best in your new role, and I know you'll give it 110%. I also thank Mr. Wood, our previous CEO, who is also in charge for a large part of our term, for his guidance and wisdom. In finishing, I wish the new Council of Hindmarsh Shire all the very best for the future and hope they enjoy their roles as much as I did. Thank you. Now, at this stage, I'll just pass. Would any other councillor like to speak at all? Yes,
Yeah, I
Councillor
will.
Bond.
Thank you. Anyone else? I've written some notes, and first of all, I'd like to thank you, Mayor Brett Ireland, for your kind words. And as the Mayor said, I have been on council for 2 terms, but those terms run over 12 years. So I started on council in 2012 to 2016. And I've been on council, well, a bit later than others, so it's not quite 8 years, because I started in December of 2020 to 2024. So I have done 2 terms and 4 elections, which is more than most. So I did elect for council in 2016 and was unsuccessful. And I was also unsuccessful in 2020 in the West Ward and ran again in East Ward in December. And I want to thank Dimboola for welcoming me as their councillor. So there's been lots of firsts. I'm an everyday person, and I truly believe you can't be what you don't see. So that's the main reason I stood up. I've been the deputy mayor. Sorry, I might get emotional. I've been the deputy mayor 3 times, as they say, always the bridesmaid. And my best year of all the years on council would be 25 to 16, when we had an all-woman team of mayor and deputy mayor. It was amazing. So this has been a life experience for me, and that's a first for Hindmarsh, and this has been an amazing life experience for me. One of the things that I've advocated for, even before I was on council, was the youth in our communities. And I'd been to many of the small town summits for 2 or 3 years before joining council, and had advocated for youth council. And I'm so proud of the youth council that we've had over the last few years. They are our future, and some of them have even become our staff. Young people of Hindmarsh Shire are incredible. And I know we hear a lot about young people today, but I really, really believe that our young people are incredible. So I just wanted to just read out council's values, our vision, our values. So council's values were to a transparent and accountable actions and decisions, inclusion, collaboration with residents, showing respect and integrity to all, being proactive and responsible by encouraging innovation. Our mission was and is to increase accessible services to enable the community to be healthy, active and engaged. Provide infrastructure essential to support our community and to protect and enhance our natural environment. Foster a sustainable and diversified local economy where economic growth is encouraged and supported. Promote user-friendly services to ensure transparency, good governance and financial sustainability. Advance gender equality, equity and inclusion for all. These values were what we set at the first of our year as councillors in 2020. I was a bit it was a bit difficult for me coming in just a little bit late, but working together to do that was very, very important. So I guess for me, they say council is not just roads, rates and rubbish, but I'm just letting you know that some of the roads were some of my, and I totally agree that it's not just roads, rates and rubbish, but some of my key achievements and some of the things that I'm most proud of were some of the roads that we did repair. And I'll just mention A Bones Road, and that was way back in 2012 to 2016, when I was approached by a farmer because the road kept getting graded, it kept being messy, we couldn't get bales of hay down there. The Chinese were coming out to see the bales of hay and they could barely get down the road. We continued to grade it and fix it, and it cost us a lot of money. And this is just one example of a road. I was lucky that we had a CEO that listened to me, and he actually came out with me to see this farmer, and he sat there and he touched the bales of hay in the big sheds. He saw what was happening, and when we discussed things, he managed to find what was then available in funding, which was called Roads to Recovery, or Roads to Market funding. It was Roads to Market funding. And we bitumised that road. Now, Ram would love it if that funding was available now, but it wouldn't have happened if someone didn't come out and talk to a farmer, touch a bale of hay, hear about how it worked. And I'm really proud that that road stands there. And I didn't do that. This is a operational thing, but it wouldn't have happened if I hadn't talked to CEO into going out there. So if people out there wonder if councillors can make a difference, we certainly can. I'm really proud of that road. The new early years centre back in 2012 to 2016, I was told that won't happen in a hurry. It won't happen. I sat there and talked to the people at FRRR to try and get funding. When we didn't have enough funding for the early years centre, I was part of a community group that raised $100,000 to add to it and build that building. And we don't do anything alone, and we didn't build it big enough. And now we've got another one. How amazing is that? But, you know, that's one of the things that I'm really, really proud of. The Wimmera River Discovery Trail that will be opened in the next council is something that started back in 2012. So it's gone through 3 councils and now it'll be a 4th council. You know, sometimes things don't happen fast, but every council has been passionate about that right from the first one. And I remember that first conversation and the day that it was brought up. And I thank all the councillors past and present that have been part of that. The events and festivals that I'm proud of. The Friday fiestas, I remember taking our first female mayor to a Friday's fiestas and learning all about Nil and all the other towns. The Steampunk Festival, I was really proud to be part of that, as other councillors were. The barefoot skiing, the Aviation Heritage Air Show, the Wimmera Mallee Pioneer Museum and all the work that they've done. And I can't thank the volunteers enough over the years that I've been on council for all what they've done. Our community is one, but it is made up of many. And it's really important to look after the minority groups. As councillors, we are asked to represent all of our council. They call it the whole municipality, and I'm sure that's the only time we ever use that word. It's not barely used in common language, which is what I like to use. But a whole municipality means that we are looking after every single town and every little town and every road and every community member, whether they're black or white, whether they're Asian or European, whether they're Aboriginal. We need to listen to everybody equally, and I have tried my very best to stand by the values of our council. For the new council, I would wish you well, and I would ask you to work together, to listen deeply, learn well. I'm sure our new CEO has got an amazing program that I'm actually disappointed I'm not going to be part of, but it will be great. So please learn well. Don't be afraid to unlearn things. There's many things that I learned when I was young that I've worked out are not necessarily true now. Live by the values you set in your council plan. And I just want to let everyone know I'm not going anywhere. I'm just stepping aside. I've had my turn on council, and I wish everybody well. And I cannot thank the people of Hindmarsh enough. You are incredible. To be a councillor is such an honour and a privilege. And I'm so grateful for the learning experience that I've had. Thank you.
Thanks, Councillor Bywaters. Any further speakers? We can have a great chat.
Councillor Rick. I don't think there's a lot to say. I guess it was just interesting when I walked out the front gate to walk down today. It was just another day in 40 years, I suppose. And I'm not sure what sort of feelings I had. And then I came in here and I was just sitting on my own for 5 minutes. I was early and reflecting back, but it has been a great journey. It's been half a lifetime. People are saying, what are you going to do? And life goes on. Someone come up tomorrow and the council won't be part of it. But, I look at the board, and that was only the Hindmarsh Shire, the Lowan Shire, which was 12 to 13 years. That's around the Historical Society, all the boards, and the amount of councillors and officers that I've been involved with. Both Councillor Bywaters and the Mayor have covered a lot of things that have been done. And to be part of that, to be Mayor is certainly a great honour. And the naturalisation, I think that's probably one of the great things that, if I could quote, the highlights of being a council for that long, it has certainly been the highlight and assimilating and being involved with the Corinnes. The amount of paperwork, and I guess a lot of that come back to a justice of the peace, but nevertheless, it was still being very much involved with the community. But I'll just read this out, Mr. Mayor, if I may. It's a magazine I got from the MAB many, many years ago, and I'm not sure whether any of you have seen it, but it's regarding council laws, and I guess this little paragraph sums up where I sit with it. Rural councils, again, has been a very big part of it, and the experience I've gained personally. But if I could just read this out. Thanks, I really value that. Issue, no one knows what councils do. Therefore, councils are not valued as they should be. They become a soft target. The perception is they provide poor value for money. but councils manage the most complex service business on earth on a shoestring. Local government is the elephant in the community, the glue that supports communities and makes the system work at the local level. Councils underpin and improve the quality of life for all citizens. And I guess that sums up where I sit with it. And I just wish Hindmarsh Council all the very best. I'm not sure how I'll treat it. I don't think you need ex-councillors coming and sitting in the gallery and stirring the possum, but I will certainly follow it with interest. And I do wish the new council all the very best in the future. And like Councillor Bywaters, living here, all our life, we have a great community and we have great volunteers. And this is the leadership, that front door. That's where people go. They look to this organisation for leadership, and I hope that will continue, and I'm sure it will. And I wish the Hindmarsh Shire and the new councils all the very best, and senior management and all staff all the very best for the future. Thanks.
Thanks, councillor Gersh.
Mayor Island, sorry, can I forgot to acknowledge my mum's in the room, Marjorie Bywaters. Thanks for coming, Mum.
Oh, okay. If there's no further business, I'll declare the meeting closed for today, and we're going to all stick around. And thank you very much, and have a great afternoon. Goodbye for now.